Over the years, WrestleMania has drawn some major crowds, but which shows were the biggest? Many of WWE's attendances have been disputed over the years, with the numbers often being inflated within the realms of kayfabe, or to also include staff, ticket ushers, volunteers, people going for free, ghosts of the building, celebrities, and the whole who's who of other people. This list will consider all singular nights of WrestleMania, as the 2 night shows feature a lot of crossover in terms of fans in attendance, so adding those numbers together would make for an unfair comparison. The data for attendances will be taken from WWE's own numbers, as various sources list different values. Welcome to Honor Wrestling Club, and in today's video we'll be counting down 10 WrestleMania events with the highest attendances, ranked. In number 10, we have WrestleMania 24, where a huge audience filed into Florida, with an attendance of 74,635 in the Florida Citrus Bowl. To this point, WrestleMania 24 acted as WWE's largest outdoor WrestleMania in the history of the company. The show had top draws, such as Ric Flair's retirement match, a David vs. Goliath story with Floyd Mayweather vs. Big Show, where the fans went, you know what, that Goliath fella's alright. And plenty of other big stars such as The Undertaker, John Cena, Randy Orton, Edge and Triple H, who were all involved in the night's title affairs. Even compared to the previous year, which had a bigger crowd, the outdoor setting made this show feel so much bigger and more special. In number 9, we have WrestleMania 30, which was a special night for WWE with a massive crowd in attendance of 75,167 inside the Mercedes-Benz Silverdome. I'm sorry, I mean the Superdome, brother! WrestleMania 30 was a big night for WWE for many reasons. Daniel Bryan's historic victory, going from beating Triple H in a fantastic opening match, to outlasting Randy Orton and Batista in the main event to win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, which is an all-time great moment. Elsewhere, a huge crowd of over 75,000 was stunned into silence when Brock Lesnar ended The Undertaker's undefeated WrestleMania streak, which is still perhaps the most surreal moment in the history of the business. In number 8, we have WrestleMania 33, where everything felt bigger, with an attendance of 75,245 inside of the Camping World Stadium. WrestleMania 33 may not have had the largest attendance of all time, but WWE ensured that they made everything feel as big as humanly possible. The huge Universal Studios themed set was jaw-dropping with the cool roller coaster, as was the enormously big ramp which led down to the ring. The show might have had ups and downs and not been too great in the grand scheme of things, but either way, this was the most striking looking WrestleMania in WWE history, with perhaps the greatest set of all time. In number 7, we have WrestleMania 31, which was a memorable night with a big audience, with an attendance of 76,976 inside of Levi's Stadium. Over the last decade, WrestleMania 31 is up there with the best WrestleMania events, and is up there with the best of all time if we're completely honest. With a historic Money in the Bank cash-in in the main event, one of the greatest RKOs of all times, surprises from The Rock, Ronda Rousey, the NWO, and many more, this was a show with a lot to love. Most of the show was in the sun, which provided a unique atmosphere to the show, and a strange setting for the entrances of Sting, Undertaker and Bray Wyatt, which did a little bit ruin their matches, but overall, still a heck of a good show. In number 6, we have WWE's return to New Orleans saw an increased audience for WrestleMania 34 of 78,133 inside the Mercedes-Benz Silverdome. I mean the Superdome, brother! When WWE came back to New Orleans 4 years after WrestleMania 30, they came with a bigger audience, this time at 78,133. However, this show was certainly not as good as 30, with a very poor main event between Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, and far too much filler. There were a few positives, such as the opener, and the Charlotte vs. Asuka match was great until the finish, and the mixed tag match is incredible, but the event was not as great despite a large crowd who turned on the show. In number 5, we have Once in a Lifetime, which sold a lot of tickets for WrestleMania 28, with an attendance of 78,363 inside of the Sun Life Stadium. With the main event between The Rock and John Cena announced a whole year in advance, WrestleMania 28 sold a lot of tickets and enticed a lot of fans to the Sun Life Stadium to see this once-in-a-lifetime match. The show also featured big matches such as CM Punk vs Chris Jericho and The Undertaker vs Triple H in an incredible Hell in a Cell match, ensuring a trio of main event worthy matches to sell the event in a major way, and this is why this is still WWE's best pay-per-view sales record ever. In number 4, we have WrestleMania 23, which made the event a yearly stadium spectacle, because they started just booking exclusively stadiums from this point on, and you can't blame them, with an attendance of 80,103 inside of Ford Field. For many years, aside from the odd event here or there, WrestleMania was confined to arenas, bringing in around 20,000 fans at most. However, WrestleMania 23 sparked a change for the Big Dub, and the company trained Jacked and would book stadiums exclusively for the show. In 2007, WWE brought in an acclaimed audience of over 80,000 people to see big matches such as John Cena vs Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker vs Batista, and the biggest draw of the show, which saw the Battles of the Billionaires, in which Vince McMahon and Donald Trump each chose a wrestler, Umaga and Bobby Lashley respectively, to fight on their behalf. And we got to see Mike Chioda versus a streaker, the most important of all of those. In number 3, we have WrestleMania 35, which was the longest show WWE have ever put on, with a lot of tired fans. And a lot of fans who couldn't get home because the show went on past the final trains in New York. Anyway, those 82,265 of them sure were happy, weren't they? Inside the MetLife Stadium. The final one-night WrestleMania in 2019 brought in a massive number of fans. And whilst the show was littered with enormous moments such as Kofi Mania, Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, all individually winning world titles, it was far too long. Over 7 hours if you include the pre-show. And even though there were a huge number of fans in seats, the night made nearly everyone tired, leading to a dull end to the night where the fans weren't invested. And it's not their fault. 7 hours is too long for anything. In number 2, we have WrestleMania 3, which held WWE's attendance record for decades, with the famous 93,173 inside of the Pontiac Silverdome, brother. The scale of WrestleMania 3 is one of the reasons why the WrestleMania event became the giant that it did. The number of people, whether it was truly over 90,000 or not, who filed in to see legendary matches such as Ricky Steamboat vs Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan vs Andre the Giant, was insane. Both before and after this show, WWE did not draw numbers like this until much later on in the life of the company, making this event from the Pontiac Silverdome stand out in a huge way, and really helped WrestleMania find its footing again after the disaster that was WrestleMania 2. And in number 1, we have WrestleMania 32, which is WWE's biggest ever attended event, with an attendance of 101,763 inside the AT&T Stadium. This is of course a number which raised some eyebrows, but even if the value was below WWE's claimed 101,763, it would still likely be amongst the biggest WrestleMania attendances of all time. Taking one look at the AT&T Stadium for WrestleMania 32 will show you just how many fans were rammed into the venue, and it was a sight to behold. Even looked big for a WrestleMania. Despite the record-breaking attendance, unfortunately, the show itself didn't impress all that much, going downhill as the night went on, with a disappointing main event, a slow and plodding clash between Undertaker and Shane McMahon, with zero story, and several filler matches and moments. Genuinely, you could watch that opening ladder match and go for a nap for like 3 hours, come back and watch the women's triple threat match, and turn the show off and you miss absolutely nothing. But there you have it, there's our list. So what did you think? What is your favourite WrestleMania of all time? Be sure to let me know in the comments down below. And do you believe any of these numbers, or do you believe they've all been inflated to make the company look great? Again, be sure to let me know your thoughts down below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, click the like button and the subscribe button to make sure you never miss out any of the fun content we produce here at Honor Wrestling Club. Be sure to check out our other videos and be sure to share these videos around with your friends. Go on, they'll enjoy them. And you will too. And you'll be closer friends for it. Maybe you'll be able to attend a Wrestlemania together. But there you have it. So that's all for now. So I'd just like to thank you for watching and welcome to the club. See ya!